Good morning. It's time for the Wednesday morning prayer. I'm sorry but I had eye surgery yesterday and I'm supposed to wear this till I go back to the doctor this morning. Today, I thought we'd talk about compassion. I'm in Reverend Edith's Wednesday night, not Wednesday night, Monday evening book study. And we're studying this book called More Together Than Alone by Mark Nepo, who's a wonderful author. And each section we take seems to have a theme around it. And the theme that we discussed, not this week, but last week, was compassion. And Reverend Edith did the Sunday service on compassion this last Sunday. But I had already written my Wednesday prayer because I was so moved, I think, by the compassion theme of the book study from, like I said, from last week. And one of the things that Mark Nepo said is that the compassion has always been the key to whether we understand each other or not. And we kind of have a choice. Do we go for relationships, having relationships with for people, or do we go for material things and try status in society or whatever, or are we really about living the life that Spirit would have us live? And I believe that the most important thing in order to go along with this idea of relationships being the most important thing in our lives, and that is that compassion is a very key part of that. And thinking about other people and doing for other people, being kind, serving other people are all parts of compassion. Webster defined compassion as a sympathetic consciousness of others' distress, together with a desire to alleviate it. But the difference between compassion or empathy and sympathy is that compassion comes with action. The action doesn't have to be a big thing. It can be something as simple as listening to somebody else. I had that very experience just a few minutes ago. My daughter was very distraught over the phone and she just needed to say what she needed to say and have someone listen. There was no way in the world that I could solve that problem for her. No one can. It is something that Spirit is working on, and we just have to be patient. But I could listen to her, and she went from sobbing hysterically to feeling much better. It just may be a simple act of listening to somebody, letting them be heard. One of the things that Nepo said in this time was that we all need and want to be seen, and we want to see. And compassion basically is seeing the other person and really seeing them. And you don't necessarily want to solve their problems. Sometimes, like I said, all you need to do is listen to them. And there is another form of compassion too that a lot of us don't think about. It's called compassion fatigue, where you're so compassionate over such a long period of time, you get tired. This happens to the people in hospitals. The COVID fatigue is really compassion fatigue. It's just so much over such a period of time. It's so different, and you just you've had it. But one of the things that we all need to do for ourselves is self-compassion, to understand for ourselves going through things. We may not be at the end of the tunnel, but we have to know that everything is okay. And so instead of worrying and being depressed and being anxious, we have to just let go and take care of those things. So as I said, compassion comes in many, many different things to focus on. And, I think that using compassion to see where other people are coming from and to where your own self is coming from, I think is very, very important. So I would like to just take a minute or so just for you to think about right now something. We're going to do three things. The first thing is we're going to think about someone who you've recently shown compassion to. Okay, let's just take a deep breath and just think about that. What have you done in the last 6 or 8 weeks to show someone else compassion? It can look like a lot of things. It can be listening to somebody. It can be paying it forward. The last couple times I've been in the car with my husband when we've gone through a drive-through for the people in the right behind us. That's his form of kindness, and kindness is a form of compassion. What is it that you've done that you've shown somebody a kindness or a consideration? Now I want you to think about when someone else has shown you compassion. Think of a moment in time when you really needed somebody to listen or to help you or do whatever. What did the other person do for you? How did it make you feel? What do you think it made the other person feel? How do you think spirit might have been involved? Someone came to you just when you needed it most and was compassionate. Now last, think of a time when you could have offered compassion, but you didn't take the time. How did that make you feel? How did you feel like going on? Did you get over it that you didn't do that? Spirit has compassion for us. When we don't have the time, or maybe we don't have the energy to do for others, Spirit has compassion for us. So I would like you now to think about some of the ways in the next day or two that you would be compassionate for someone else that has a need or needs compassion. What kind of things could you do for that person? Okay, now let's take a couple of deep breaths to come back into the now moment. I'd like you to realize that compassion comes from your heart. It also comes from your head. And one of the things that we need to realize is that spirit is our center. And that when we're called upon to be compassionate, we generally listen. And we can come up with ideas in advance to help other people so that they can be seen and so that we can see. You could listen. You don't need to give advice. Sometimes just listening is just exactly what a person needs. They may need physical help, maybe walking across the street, maybe helped reaching something in the grocery aisle. Every act of is an act of compassion. Paying it forward, helping somebody out that you know can't afford their rent this month. It could be a number of different things. Compassion creates relationships. And sometimes just having you there to give a hug, to give a listen, just being present is exactly what another person needs. So I have 3 affirmations for today. I show compassion through an action. I show compassion through understanding and action. I show compassion through understanding and action. I am a reflection of the divine within me. I am a reflection of the divine within me. I am a reflection of the divine within me. When I show compassion to others, it's a reflection of my divinity. Rooted in community, I grow and blossom. Rooted in community, I grow and blossom. When you create relationships, you create community. When you create community, you grow and blossom. And I wanted to just tell you that part of my reason for doing this particular meditation today is that in our fellowship on Sundays, we have created an incredible sense of community. And that creation of that community has come from compassion, the kindness, to listening to others, to being seen and heard, and to seeing others. In our discussions, we've let it all hang out, and we see each other, and we're beginning to understand in this group the importance that we hold in each other's lives. There's a group of, 12 or 15 people who come, maybe not every week, but I invite you, if you would like to, on a Sunday after church, to come and join us. We're a community of compassionate people who love each other. Maybe from afar on Zoom, maybe we can't hug in person, but we can listen to each other, and we can be there for each other, and we can be kind to each other. Have a great day.